We got a guy, Ike Feldman, here who used to work with us. He works at the Sports Network. He fought last week and won.
Winner by knockout from Long Island, New York, Ike Feldman.
Here's the problem with that. Now with the proliferation of MMA,
Yes.
you ain't got anybody.
You have no idea.
Because that dude Isaac, who's a great kid,
Yeah.
you'd look at him and go, I'll probably have this guy. I can handle this guy.
He'd kill you in
Meanwhile,
30 seconds.
What?
Right.
Hi-ya! No, like, God damn, I had the wrong guy.
Welcome to the IkeTagon.
What's up, everybody? Ike Feldman back for another IkeTagon.com episode, video, YouTube. Obviously, I put this on the audio-only platforms. I'm also doing some typing and print stuff with the articles. But man, we've made it to summer. Yeah. Got my little tan going. Got my little retirement shirt going. Or as my brother says, I look like a Filipino casino waiter, which is cool too. But guys, I'm excited to be alive, to be talking MMA, to be going outside, to be enjoying life. But I'm staying safe, motherfuckers, all right? Respect COVID. Respect coronavirus. I have this whole thing about respecting your opponent when I do my podcast about fighters respecting the man across for them or the woman across for them in the cage, and they need to study their opponent and not get too arrogant or too cocky. The same thing needs to happen with everybody with this disease. Just because things are slowing down, hospitals are being less filled of sick people and diagnosed corona people, doesn't mean it's necessarily 100% okay to go outside and spread it. WWE, as you guys know, the men in the tights who jump off the top turnbuckle from time to time, they opened up. They've been open since March, and now it turns out that some of their employees and some of the people that work at the Performance Center in Florida, they're testing positive. So it is spreading because maybe they are a little arrogant, and they think because they can perform and they can do their job on a weekly basis that everything's okay. It's not 100% okay. It's more than 50%, maybe 75% okay, but it's not 100% okay. Respect your opponent. Be smart. Be precautious when you leave the house. I'm not saying stay inside like Ariel Helwani, but leave the house, be smart, and enjoy the sun like me, your boy. I was thinking about getting a beer for this part of the show and just drinking, but I don't know. I'm on a coffee caffeine kick right now, so maybe on a different episode. Down to business. I got a jam-packed show. I'm very excited to talk this week to you guys about Sean OMalley. Is he real AF? Is he fake AF? Is he a legit superstar? Is he a fan, a Conor McGregor fan turned fighter? I'll dive into that in a little thing called Ike-ology 101. Gonna also talk about Mike Perry, who's fighting on this weekend's card. Mike has some baby mama drama. He doesn't have kids, but maybe he does have a bunch of kids with different moms. I'm not going to speculate, but Mike Perry's in the news again for maybe the wrong reasons or the right reasons. We'll find out after this weekend, and the more we find out about what happened inside of his personal life. And one of the funniest things I'm going to touch on is Daniel Cormier needs to upgrade his internet. That's all I'm going to say. You guys will definitely enjoy that segment. So let's get started. So Mike Perry, as I previously mentioned, a guy who I've talked to and had the pleasure of speaking with in the past. What's your favorite tattoo? Where is it located? And what does it mean?
Well, since you said, what does it mean? I'm going to pick my God's gift tattoo on my stomach because a lot of people think that I'm talking about myself.
Are you shy to show the camera?
I'm not shy. I'm pulling my dick out.
Don't pull. All right, folks, it's fight week. Okay, he's not always like this. My wife's on this stream right now.
Yes, I am.
No, my wife's... No. He's got some girl drama going on, man.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Why don't you?
I don't know what it is with this dude. He's been on and off with this chick for a long time. They've sparred each other.
Off the ropes, off the ropes.
But then they kiss and they love each other. He's been on and off. And then he recently comes out and says that his girlfriend is going to be the only person in his corner and no coaches will be there. I don't know what it is with Mike. He's a troubled soul, maybe. But he has a lot of trouble sticking and committing to one relationship, whether that's business, meaning training facilities and gyms. He's bounced around a couple of times over the past couple of years. And now with girl problems, he was on and off with his girlfriend in the past. And now he's banging and dating a UFC employee. I don't know how good this is for his career. Joe Rogan speaks a ton about guys and fighters. Men need to find the proper girl that doesn't derail them from their goal and their career success, that kind of perpetuates their career success and helps them out. Mike Perry's been in the news a lot for having a lot of drama. Is this woman, is this gal, is this pony or horse the one that Mike should ride off into the sunset with? I don't know. We'll never know. Time will tell, obviously, but I like the dude. And a lot of people may be confused or rubbed the wrong way by the way Mike Perry carries himself, but he is a white dude from the hood. I Bleav he's from Michigan, like somewhere like Eminem. And it's ironic because as soon as I thought of this situation of Mike Perry on and off with his other girl, and then the ice fully breaks when he's with this new girl, and it's a UFC girl, and it's all publicized, I'm just like, I can see Mike Perry getting back with his old girl, marrying her, having kids, and maybe he just needed a little break to just clean the pipes, if you know what I mean. And the fact that he is, I Bleav he is from Michigan, this song came to mind.
I'm tied to the bed and set this house on fire. I'm just gonna
Poetic lyrics, as said by Eminem. What I don't like is that martial arts isn't at the forefront of what we're talking about with Mike Perry. It should be that he goes out there and we focus on his fight against Mickey Gall this weekend, and he has an amazing performance, and we talk about what's next for Mike Perry. He's very sellable, but apparently now he's become a little bit of a sideshow. This is personal drama that's bled into social media. It's a little ugly, but I Bleav we'll find out a lot more after his fight and after a lot more interviews following this weekend. One final thing before I move on to the study of Sean OMalley, ike-ology 101. I want to talk about Daniel Cormier and just how apropos it is for a man who's talked so much crap, who's basically been pro-UFC, who's been company man for the UFC, who's been Dana White's advocate, and basically been poo-pooing Jorge Masvidal's style and his negotiation style.
Because I do it in the right way, things work out. That's it. So maybe I'm not the corporate. Maybe it's not that I'm being corporate. Maybe I'm being in the way that allows for you to get business done.
Daniel Cormier, maybe you need to renegotiate your contract, and with that little bump in pay, maybe you should work on getting better internet.
DC. Oh, he's back. There he is. What happened to you?
I don't know.
Thank God. I started to slow down a little bit on my read, so I was like, I think I lost the guy. I was actually just thinking this morning, man, we do this show from home, like internet, all that stuff. Thank God it's never crapped out on us, and it almost just crapped out on us.
Bro, because guess what? Tiago's playing PlayStation. Daniel's playing Xbox. Tyler's on his computer. Rosendo's watching Netflix. I mean, it's too much. They give my wife's watching YouTube TV. Everybody's on the internet right now.
Can you give us an hour?
I mean, come on, guys. I'm just trying to pay bills here. I'm just trying to pay the bills here.
I love you, DC. I love you. I truly love you. I'm just busting your balls, man. Come on. I'm punching up. Give me a shot here. But for real, bro, you are the former 2-division UFC champion / UFC and ESPN commentator. Don't you got enough to, like, not leave your boy Ariel Helwani just hanging on air?
With only being able to use American fighters.
Okay, there's a main event on August 1st, Holly Holm against Irene Aldana. If Aldana wins that fight, if she beats Holly Holm coming off her win over Caitlin Vieira, she 100% deserves a 135-pound title fight, right? I mean, there's a contender right there for you. Oh, no. DC's situation is getting dire here. His people they're hanging us out to dry. What's going on? Anyway, that fight is happening. I'll just kill some time before he comes back. That fight is happening on August 1st. Irene Aldana against.
Could you step in that room right there and see if Thiago's off of tell him to get off of the Wi-Fi. Like, hey,
and I feel like that fight should determine the number one contender. DC, I hear you, by the way, but I don't see you. I think you bounced on me or something. Maybe you can't hear me. Anyway, in the meantime, I'll go over some of the Abu Dhabi fights that were announced. Yes, and I will do that as well, Corporate Jake. But let me go over these Abu Dhabi fights that were announced last week because I wanted to ask Mr. DC.
Daniel, you got to turn your game off for a little bit.
DC, we see you.
Turn the game off. I can't. My stuff's pausing.
We hear you. He can't hear us. Oh.
The best part about this was he obviously didn't hear himself screaming at his family members and everybody get off the YouTube and get off the Xbox.
Mr. DC.
Daniel, you got to turn your game off for a little bit.
The best part was when he comes back on and he's officially connected and he's got the green light. He's basically like, yo, man, what's up? What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, nothing to see here.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Daniel.
Bro,
I was just...
I don't know what's going on, man. I told her, I'm like, yo, guys, get off the internet. Like, this is crazy.
I was just holding down the fort here for you. Don't worry about it, you know?
It, man. Thank you, man.
When the going gets tough, Helwani gets going, you know?
I've had so many memories of friends of friends and friends' girls just getting into issues and making drama on drinking nights and party and bar nights, and you just hear them scream on the other side of the couch or the lounge chair or at the other side of the bar, or you see them outside just and then they come into the bar and they're like, yo, what's up, guys? What are we drinking? What's up, players? Nothing to see here. Y'all didn't see shit. I'll be on Tinder next week. Nothing to see here. What are we drinking, players?
Man, I told her, I'm like, yo, guys, get off the internet. Like, this is crazy.
To me, that was exactly what the former UFC double champ was doing with that situation. But I love you, DC. I'm just busting your balls.
Mr. DC.
Daniel, you got to turn your game off for a little bit.
All right, guys, the moment you've been waiting for, the moment I've teased multiple times, the moment that just came to me while I was taking a shit last week. Ike-ology 101, the study of Sean Sugar OMalley. Hit it.
Greetings, MMA fans. It is time now for Ike-ology 101.
I'm glad you guys like that production. It didn't take that much effort to come up with, but I'm glad you guys like it. And let's get to business. I picked Sean OMalley not only because he is a polarizing figure and a lightning bolt in the mixed martial arts world, because of his hair and his braids and his white and his style and weed, but because he's getting a ton of momentum. Again, I will always focus mainly on the martial arts study of a fighter or martial arts study of a situation or negotiation. Martial arts is the base and the fundamentals of every one of my arguments and episodes. So I want to really ask myself and try to answer it. I'm talking to myself here. And just see if Sean OMalley is the real deal because he has a ton of hype and momentum and a ton of potential. But can he withstand that train on the tracks and eventually become a UFC champion? He's talking about jumping weight classes and just all sorts of crazy stuff, which you hear from a lot of fighters. But in all honesty, if Sean OMalley was to become a UFC champion, that alone would just validate everything he's about and everything he's been trying to achieve in his career. And the moment would just be spectacular, and it'd be awesome because I think his message is good. But let's do a little Ike-ology 101. Let's look at his fast rise. He's on a skyrocket right now. He's getting a ton of attention. His YouTube videos, which I'm sure he uses for leverage with negotiating a deal or contract or sponsorship with companies and the UFC, is just amazing. It's outstanding. It's humongous. He just blows everybody out of the water for every single event that he fights on. It's incredible. And I hope he's getting paid for it. Everything that he says shows that he's going to be compensated for. But let's look at his rise. Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. Yes, that is the name of an event. Dana White puts on these events every summer where he just gives these fighters a one-fight contract, and you have to fight and win and excel. And if you do, you get to fight in the UFC. Sean OMalley, being one of those fighters who excelled on his Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series contract, performed amazing. When he said he had a tough training camp and a tough weight cut, he performed amazingly. And now fast forward to 2020, he's had 2 fights in 2020 already, even with a pandemic. He's finished both opponents, and he's looked phenomenal. And his last win over Eddie Wineland is just getting a ton of attention because of the walk-off knockout. So the kid is performing. I don't question his performance in the cage. The thing is, are the things outside of the cage going to creep in and potentially derail the in-the-cage performances? So far, so good. He's doing well. Let's look at his style, because you could say he's kind of got the Bob Ross, the Howard Stern, the really curly pubic Jufro type of thing going there. And I feel it. I rocked this a couple of years ago. But he's a kid from Montana, the countryside. And I assume that not everybody's as receptive to the hippies out there. There could be a bad connotation or stereotype with the hippie people out in Montana. He broke free of that, went to Phoenix, completely grew his hair out, dyed his hair, braids. He's also very intelligent because he doesn't just need his UFC contract to make money. He makes a ton of money on Twitch and Fortnite. Fun fact, he actually donated $27,000 that he won from Fortnite to some people. I think it was a charity. I think it is, as you'll see the headline. Hey, I respect it. Get the money any way you can, as long as it's not doing anything illegal, obviously, or anything that hurts anybody. But video games, if that's part of your story and who you are as a person and a way to make money and keep your mother off you and not be yelled at from the basement or yelled at from the other room with a wife, then more power to you. So a little bit of his background. His dad was a detective. His mom's a nurse. Check. I'm liking it. I think it's great to have parents in respective fields like that. Obviously, I respect every hardworking and 40-hour 9-to-5 person who's putting in the hours and being a parent. But those type of professions and occupations tend to favor more conversation. As a nurse, you're always talking to somebody. As a detective, obviously, you're always investigating and wanting to find out more. And I think Sean OMalley, growing up in a household with people who know how to communicate, express themselves, and are basically caretakers, a cop who's caretaking of his local government and nurse who's caretaking everybody that steps into her office, those are great people to be raised by. So, again, thumbs up by O'Malley. I'm liking it. His highlight reel, I mean, what else to say? This dude is in a freaking flow zone when he steps in there. No criticism here. Dude's an absolute assassin. Nobody's questioned his in-cage performances. People may try to push him for a higher ranked opponent, and that will come, but no question he's an absolute performer on fight night. So, this Tim Welch character, this ginger giant to Sean OMalley, who is this guy? Is he just some sideshow strip club DJ type of guy?
Well, Sugar's into fat chicks.
Is he just some guy with amazing pipes and huge biceps?
Well, Sugar's into fat chicks.
Actually, he could probably be every single one of those, but he's not. He's a former Bellator fighter. I think that's what makes his balance to Sean OMalley perfect. So OMalley they're both from Montana. That's how they met. OMalley was competing on a local Montana circuit. Tim Welch saw him, saw potential, took him with him down to Phoenix to a higher level of training and competition. The two fell in love as friends, you freaks. And the rest is history. Sean OMalley's been on a skyrocket. And a lot of that skyrocketing can be attributed to Tim Welch's mentorship and grooming. And Sean OMalley is undefeated in his pro MMA career. Tim Welch has been up and down, but more ups than downs. And it's good, I think, to have somebody who knows what you're doing, being a fighter in your corner and being somebody you look to for information. Obviously, being cool and being friendly and being well-spoken and open and having a great relationship with somebody as a coach is obviously a plus. You need that to get along and for the fighter and coach to listen to each other. But for Tim Welch to deal with loss and defeat and agony and potential embarrassment on a public stage, he can advise OMalley and guide OMalley in the perfect direction. I think this is his Morpheus to his Neo. I made that comparison a lot with Conor McGregor and his coach, John Kavanagh. Obviously, the two, after multiple world titles, after making hundreds of millions of dollars, the two had a little friction with the Khabib fight and game plan, and we all know how that unfolded. They're still friends, but there was some friction and heat at the top. I'm not saying there's not going to be friction, potentially or eventually, between Welch and OMalley, but I'm pretty sure they would take the friction at that point because of the already title, fame, wealth, money, success. So yeah, if there is a little friction at the top, I think everybody's going to be okay. My biggest concern is that this Tim Welch fellow is just a man whore. I think he's somebody that may get in the way of OMalley's success because he just introduces him to all sorts of creatures and characters. You know, me and my boys, we love each other, we have a great time, but sometimes you challenge the other guy, yo, go talk to that girl, or go talk to that girl, let's see what you got. Oh, she don't like you, man, you better make sure your next girl does. Yeah, you're dancing with her, you're drinking, yeah, we're all partying. Sometimes that could be a little bit of a bad influence. And this clip is what really struck me. These two interviews from Theo Vaughn's this past weekend and Ariel Helwani's MMA show on ESPN MMA. OMalley talked about being passionate with his girlfriend who's a hairdresser, and she's done this Tekashi 6ix9ine style for him, and just how much passion they have.
And so you're, as you've told me before, your girlfriend is a hairstylist, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she did this?
Yeah, she did it.
She's incredible.
Danya. She's like a black belt level stylist. She's been doing it for a long time. It's her passion. She's extremely passionate about hair as I am with fighting. So I think it's why, I think that's what really helps a good relationship is people that can have their own separate passions, not just each other.
But then on the other side, OMalley goes out to LA doing some media, Brendan Schaub, Theo Vaughn, and maybe he he lost his way. Maybe Tim Welsh is just a bad influence.
Well, Sugar's into fat chicks, if you didn't know.
I'm not into fat chicks. I don't mind a little thickness.
You got to have a thing, especially with the end of times coming, dude. I don't want to be laying there next to a bone bag.
I'm down to disappoint someone tonight.
Like, even if we got to pay $150.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it comes down to it, it's like, okay, this chick 200 for an hour, not to fuck, of course.
Right. It's just
Really, Sean? Really? We're passionate about our passion because we're passionate.
It's her passion. She's extremely passionate about hair as I am with fighting.
And then he's like, yo, get the ladies. Yo, where the ladies at? Yo, round them up. Sean.
I'm down to disappoint someone tonight.
Like, even if we got to pay $150.
That's
what is it, man? You a whore like your buddy Tim Welsh?
Well, Sugar's into fat chicks.
Or are you a good, loyal husband? I'll take out the garbage. Give me a minute. Talk about Sean OMalley. Honestly, I'm just kidding. Who cares? He's fucking 25. At 25, off the record, I'll tell you guys. But who cares? He's a dumb, young, successful entrepreneur that's living the life that he wants to live. And if he's not fully locked down or married to this chick back home, let the kid explore.
Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father.
If she's okay with it and he's just exploring, who knows? Nothing's set in stone, especially at that age. Just let the kid explore. I have no problem with it. Tim Welsh, continue your man horn. I love you, brother.
Pass. Ike-ology 101 concluded.
So there you have it, guys. The Ike-ology 101, number 1. I'll keep breaking down fighters. It's my version of the ESPN detailed, maybe not the cleaned up version of, yes, if you see this fighter's technique, if you see how good they are, look at the left jab, look at the right kick. It's beautiful. It's lovely. This isn't golf. This is fighting. This is going to be breaking down the psychology and the actions and the story of certain fighters. This week it was Sean OMalley. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope nobody's going to kick my ass or shank me when I go to a UFC event, if I'm allowed to go to a UFC event, for all the times I've killed now Daniel Cormier and Ariel Helwani and Dana White. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's got a little bit of everything. Drama, comedy, psychology, and a tiny taste of fight breakdown. Thank you guys for the downloads, subscriptions, reading, and everything. The double taps, the likes, the retweets. Love you guys. I favorite you guys. Till next time, later.